The topic is going to be tips to have trouble-free trips. The very first thing that you have to know is what you really want. To travel the world, to have a nice time on the weekends, or to become the next YouTuber star. Hey Richard, how is it going, man? How was the last week? Very wet. Well, it's the beginning of the summer. After that it's going to be very hot. So I don't know what I prefer, very hot or very wet. Definitely prefer to have a hot day. Well, many people don't know that usually in Germany it rains like 250, 280 days per year. This is the situation in Germany, especially around Bavaria. When you see a country that is big and green, that means it rains a lot. Good evening, Big D. How are you? Worst storms in 100 years. Well, unlucky you. You went exactly in this moment. I hope that you still got some nice days and moments riding around. Yeah, it is what it is. We cannot control it. As you already noticed, I started a little bit later, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Because now it's summertime, most of the people are out. Good that you enjoy it, Richard, good. It's important to have this connection with the family, and if you have chance to riding with your brother, excellent. So guys, as you notice, I started already at 9 o'clock. From today, the streams will be at 9 p.m. A little bit late because summertime is usually light and it's always something to do around. And I decided to move it a little bit. And for you it's not a problem because for you it's like UK 2 hours back, Europe 1 hour back. But I will keep it like that for the summer. I might move it again during the winter, but for now it's going to be 9 o'clock. The topic that I'm going to discuss today will be tips to have trouble-free trips. I have 10 different tips that I plan to discuss here with you guys. And as usual, we're gonna have this monologue from my side, and when I finish, you can add some information or ask questions. So as I said, the topic is going to be tips to have trouble-free trips. The very first thing that you have to know is what you really want. To travel the world, to have a nice time on the weekends, or to become the next YouTuber star. When you have the answer, what will follow will be obvious. So if you know what exactly you plan to do on your trip, or the way you ride your motorcycle will tell you what exactly it's supposed to be. Or I mean, if you plan a long trip which will be many kilometers in different country, it is obvious that you have to do it a little bit slowly and gently. If you plan a weekend ride, you can take the risk and make some risky maneuvers here and there. But if you're on a long trip, it's not going to be exactly like that. If you want to impress people on YouTube, if you want to make really interesting or crazy videos on YouTube, it will be completely different riding style. That's why I said, if you know what exactly you plan to do or what kind of trip you plan, this will show you what exactly you have to do after that. And the tips that I'm going to give you now, 10 different tips, will help you to have a trouble-free trips and come back home safe in one piece, because this is the main idea of the talk tonight. And the first number one is to be invisible. I know that this sounds like not exactly on the place right now, but I'm going to explain what I mean. Let's say that YouTube and the whole social media does not exist. There is no YouTube, no social media, nothing like that. Will you ride your motorcycle the same way you do it now, or it will be different? This question is very interesting, and it's related to many people who record their trips like me, or on Instagram or TikTok, Facebook, whatever. Will you have exactly the same approach, or you will take it easy? if there is no one around you. And I can also compare this social media, I can compare it with when you write in the group, it's about the same. So to have a social media account and you want to prove to everyone that you're the best rider on the world, and to be in a group with 5, 6 or 10 people and to want to show yourself like the best rider in the group, it's about the same. So when I said be invisible, I mean try to ride as quiet as possible. Always have in mind that the journey is very long. Anything could happen on the road, from accidents, which are obvious, to a piece of broken asphalt, or sand on the road, or split oil or water on some places. That's why to be gentle and invisible will be just a bonus for you if you plan to ride on a long trips. And I have seen many people doing crazy stuff, filming this crazy stuff just because they want to be very popular on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, or stuff like that. And when you play or when you behave like invisible, like no one see you, you will be always calm down. I noticed this even from myself. When I film with the camera, I'm riding one way. When I don't film with the camera, it is more or less the same, but it's always a little bit more calm when I don't film it. I cannot explain why. It's not that I want to show something that I don't do usually, but when you film, you always try to show something more interesting. So if, for example, I decided to tilt on this corner, let's say 10%, when I film it, I will tilt 15%, just to have a little bit more angle on the camera. This is what I'm talking about. And it's not only me. Even though I'm very calm and safe rider, I will say, it's still noticeable even on my rides. But for some people that are a little bit more in the crazy side, it could be disaster. Number 2 is just to be yourself. Never try to imitate others. So all the tips that I plan to give you now is how to have trouble-free trips. If you want to have trouble-free trips, you have to follow this logic. The first is be invisible, or ride your motorcycle as social media, YouTube, or all of this does not exist. Just do whatever you want to do, not what others want to see from you. The second is to be yourself. Never try to imitate others, because your riding style is just your riding style. Some people ride very fast, some people ride very slow, some people make this very crazy or not so safe maneuvers, but you have to keep your riding style. Be yourself. Be yourself and do the trips that you like. If you prefer to do it very slowly, to stop at every town, to visit every church, to stop at every coffee, please do it so, because it is your trip and this is the only way to feel good and to have trouble-free trips. If you start to push, if you start to do something that is not usual for you, sooner or later you will have some troubles from many different variations. If your style is to ride with 80 km per hour on the paved roads, let it be. If your riding style is to ride only on the dirt roads, or the whole trip to be only on the dirt roads, let it be. So this is one of the requirements to have safe and trouble-free trip, to do exactly what you prefer on the way you like it. If you like to stay close to your home and feel safe riding around your home, please do it so. You don't need to go at the end of the world just to have a motorcycle trip. If you don't feel good, if you don't feel safe to get out of your country, stay in your country, stay in your neighborhood if necessary, stay in your area, but always try to make something that it's good for you, and only then you can have trouble-free trips. Your trip might be completely different from what others do, but it doesn't matter, because in the end it is yours, not their trip. So always try to do exactly what you want. That's why I finished finally riding alone, and that's why I never listen to people and do my own right. Always. Do it slowly, early morning starts, constant speed, and everything that I do, that I practice on all of my trips, because this is the only way to have a trouble-free trips. If I am with even with one person, I am already taking a risk. So maybe I should have started with this advice that the most safe and trouble-free trip is going to be if you travel alone. I do not even have this in the numbers here, but it is important. I should have added. If you travel alone, you will always have safe trip, even though it might sound like not, because you might think that if I have someone with me, he can help me to do this and that. But when you have someone with you, it's always some kind of, not exactly battle, but if you're right in front of, if you lead the group, you need to follow the person behind you, need to follow you. You have to check the mirrors all the time. You have to go and overtake together. So it's always more risk when you travel with someone. I hope that you understand what I mean. Number 3, know yours and your motorcycle limits. This tip is so simple and obvious, but so many people miss it in the name of the adventure. It is so important, and I'm sure that you know your limits. You know where you can ride and how you can ride, and where and how you cannot ride. And I'm sure that you also know the limits or the limitations of your motorcycle. You know that if you have a 100% street bike, you cannot go on the dirt roads. Also, you know that if you have a dirt bike, it's not going to be so comfortable or easy to ride on the highways. That's why it's very important to know your limits, how much you can push, and what are the limits of your motorcycle. If you know this in advance, you'll have much better chances to have a travel-free trips. It is so obvious, and again, I don't know why some people don't get it. They try to push harder, the way they never do it before, or the other day we were riding with, I was riding with 2 more guys. First guy was very fast rider. He was overtaking very fast and making some dangerous maneuvers. And the guy behind him was trying always to copy him. But the first guy who was making the overtakes, he has some kind of visibility. But the second guy behind him already got 50% less visibility because he is just behind. But even so, he was overtaking as well with 50% reduced visibility. Just because he was trying to copy the first guy. He was going over his limitations, over his motorcycle limitations. Also, the first guy got a new motorcycle with all safety system. The second guy was with an old machine without anything, without even ABS. So the first guy was doing obviously what he do all the time, and the motorcycle was allowing him to do it. The second guy was risking a lot, going over his and his motorcycle limitations without even notice it. On some stage when we stopped, I asked him, what are you doing? Why are you doing like that? And he said, no, I'm riding like that. I said, you don't ride like that. I've been many times with you. You don't ride like that. What you're doing now is stupid. He's just going over his limitations. But if you want to have a trouble-free trip, you have to avoid situations like that. If you think that your partner or the group that you're riding, they ride too fast, slow down. If necessary, continue traveling alone. Or you can make a meeting points during the evening, and if they arrived in the hotel 1 hour before that, let it be, but ride on your own tempo, your own pace, your own ride. It's very important to know yours and your motorcycle limitations. Number 4, be prepared. You know my favorite phrase, preparation is key to success. Forget about conception to go without any plans in the name of adventure. This is stupid. We discussed this many times, even on many streams we discussed that you go without any plans is stupid. And if you want to have a travel-free trips, you definitely need to prepare everything in advance. If you want to travel without any plans, this will be the fastest way to have problems on the road. Which is mean that, what does mean without any plans? If you don't prepare the motorcycle, it might break down on the road, and it's already a problem. Prepare everything in advance, make a good plan in advance, read books, watch videos, get as much as possible information for the area that you're going to travel. For example, one guy came here maybe 10 days to Bulgaria with I think was Tracer 700 with cast wheels, and he did not even check the information about the roads, and on one section with very bad potholes, he hit one hole and actually damaged the front wheel. And he contacted the garage, the local garage, my friend and mechanic plumber. But it was Friday afternoon, he was going on the racing and there were no people to fix his motorcycle and his wheel because it was Friday evening. Even if he pick up the motorcycle, put it in the garage, the wheel cannot be fixed before Monday. So this is the same guy that left without any preparation and without any information about the road, damaged the wheel, and needed to find a transportation company to bring the motorcycle back to Romania. So this is happening when you go to the places without any preparation, without a proper motorcycle, without knowing anything about the place that you're going. And if you want to have trouble-free trips, you need information, you need to be prepared. And number 5 is the weight always matters. This is another one of my favorite phrases. As you know, this is something that I preach all the time. Lighter bike and less weight in the luggage is always equal to less problems. Believe it or not, it's exactly like that. Not only when you ride off-road. When you ride off-road, it's more noticeable, but it is also important on the road. When you have less luggage, you will feel motorcycle much lighter. It will be easy for you to control it, easy for you to push it, park it, move it, going into the traffic, filtering between the cars, anything. So heavy motorcycle will be useful only in one situation, if you have really strong side wind. But even so, it's alright with light motorcycle. It's not something that you cannot live with it. Learn how to travel light and how to be more efficient. It's not that difficult to learn how to travel light. You just need to practice a little bit with different sets of clothes or any item in your luggage supposed to be with dual purpose. You use it for 2-3 different things. Then you can minimize the luggage and be as light as possible. I know that for some of you might sound like how the weight exactly is relevant to the trouble-free trips, but believe me, it is. The lighter you are, the much less chances to have problems on the road you'll have. 2 weeks ago, German guy, a Brazilian guy and German lady were here with very heavy motorcycles, and they went to Central Asia. Even though I recommended to send back at least maybe 50% of the luggage, I don't know do they did it or not. But with so much luggage going to very bad or no roads at all, it's always a problem. And if we want to have trouble-free trip, you just need to be as light as possible. I know that it sounds not on the place, but it's exactly where it's supposed to be. When you learn how to travel light and how to be more efficient, all of this will help you to minimize the risk and to have trouble-free trips. Number 6, ask for help when you need it. I have heard a few stories for people who refuse to call for help in the name of the adventure. They said, nah, we don't need help, this will be adventure, we'll handle it alone. But on some situations, when you finally decided to ask for help, it could be too late. I watched a few years ago an Australian guy, I think was Matt TV or something like that, very experienced guy. They went few people somewhere in the outback, and on some stage they stuck in the sand, and they realized that they are in very bad situation. Even though it was just in the beginning of their problems, they realized that it is already a problem and asked for help. They found a satellite phone, contact the local emergency service, and they stayed on the place where they stuck. And they've got a few liters of water, and instead of trying to handle everything alone and get out of the situations, they immediately turn off the motorcycles, find a shadow, stop, turn off the engines, and try to protect their energy and the water that they have until the rescue team arrives. So this is a perfect example how important it is to ask for help on time, because if they were waiting just one more day, that is mean the help won't be able to arrive on place on time. So that's why it's very important to ask for help when you need it. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. When you feel that it's dangerous, ask for help. You don't need to play macho to get out of the situations. I will handle everything alone. Forget about it. Ask for help and you will find a solution. Number 7, The details are important. Every person, every scene, every moment worth much more than the title The Best Adventurer. I hope that you understand what I mean. Don't fall into this trap and follow your dreams. This nonsense competition will lead you nowhere and you will finish unhappy and highly depressed. What I mean by all of this? As I said in the beginning, you have your trip, you have your details, follow your details. Forget about the hype, forget about what people want, forget about this competition, forget about things that, oh, this guy went there, I also want to go there. Or he rode on this road with 30 kilometers per hour, I want to do it with 50 kilometers per hour. Forget about all of this. Focus on the details, keep following your plan, and don't compete with anyone. This is the only way to have a trouble-free trip. If you get out of the rails, you're already risking a lot. Because the plan that you have to make, the important part of the plan, is already at home, when you're on safe place, when you have all the information, all the sources, when you ate well, when you slept well, and you prepare your plan and you know how much risk you can take. But over there on the field, when you are tired, when you're exhausted, probably dehydrated, when you don't eat enough, when you don't sleep well, and you try to get a decision that is not yours, of course it will be a recipe for disaster. That's why the details of the plan are so important. Stick to the details, do everything that you have planned in advance, and you will have high chances to have a trouble-free trip. Number 8, stop resisting. You are what you are. Stop resisting and pretend that you're something else. It is closely related to the previous point. You don't need to pretend that you're someone else. You don't need to pretend that you're a tough guy. You can handle everything alone and you don't need any help. Just do whatever your brain telling you at the moment. Make the trips the way you like it and enjoy every single moment from it. Don't pretend to be someone else. This is very important. Many people forget that and they say, I'm a very good rider, I'm a very good off-road rider, even though they know that they are not. I have seen this with many people and I cannot really get it. It's like to love choppers but to ride an adventure bike because someone else told you that this is the way to go. So you don't need to resist on your internal voice. If your internal voice telling you that you need to ride chopper with 60 kilometers per hour on your trips, please do it so. Don't buy adventure bike because it is a hype at the moment, or someone tell you, or you saw someone riding adventure bikes. This is what I mean with this stop resisting. And number 9, far away does not mean better. A trip to the other side of the globe cannot guarantee a better experience. This is also related to one of the points that I said earlier, that just because your trip is going on the so far away destination does not mean that it's going to be a better trip than the one that you can have in your own country. And as I said before, if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel secure, if you don't feel right to go on such a long trip, you don't need to do it. I know that many people think that if you go on a so exotic destination at the end of the world, it's going to be much better experience and you'll have so many nice moments and different pictures, but it's not exactly like that. In the name of safety, you always need to follow your simple logic. And number 10, it's always be ready to see the whole picture. Never focus on the single event or the single day. The most important is to come back home safe in one piece. The past day, it doesn't matter how great it was, cannot replace the present, and the future will always be more exciting because of the unknown. I hope that you understand what you mean. You live in the present. The past day or the legacy that you have from the past cannot replace the present day. In the future, it doesn't matter how bright it looks like, it's still unknown. It might never come. That's why it's good always to see the whole picture, not to look on the top of your shoes. You have to see the whole picture always, and each one of your decisions, everything that you plan, everything that you do during the trip, need to have this in mind. Now at the moment, I'm in the middle of nowhere, 300 kilometers away from the civilization. The decisions that I'm taking now need to be because of all of this. The example that I can give you now is from my trip to Magadan. One of the days I wanted to go and see these camps of Gulag camps. So I need to move from the main road, riding around 20 kilometers away from the main road in the middle of nowhere, with a lot of water, crossing rivers and stuff like that, because I wanted to see this camp. But on some stage I realized that I do something absolutely stupid, because when I see the whole picture, then I realize, okay, I'm 20 kilometers away from the main road, where already on the main road I already haven't got any telephone reception, but I moved 20 kilometers away from the main road, which is mean no telephone reception, no one see me, there is no traffic, there is no cars, it is not even a road. So if something happens over there, I won't have any chance for anyone to help me. I cannot call anyone because I don't have any telephone. If the motorcycle stopped, I cannot push it for 20 kilometers. Theoretically I can, but it will take days. And even if I push it to the road 20 kilometers, this is the main road, but it is still not a busy road. You can see one car or one truck per few hours. But what this car or truck could do for me? Nothing. I haven't got any spare parts because I was in Russia. I cannot import any spare parts. Even if I find a spare parts, who is going to fix my motorcycle? So when you see the whole picture, when you see the whole equation and see where are you, then your brain starts to think a little bit differently. I even got a few people comments on this video, said, ah man, you have to push, you had to push a little bit more, you were so close, you will regret later. No, I don't regret now, because I knew that I took the right decision and go back. When I felt that, when I saw the whole picture, when I realized that it's already stupid, I went back, and I do not regret now that I took this decision, because you never know what will be. He said, you might never go back there again, and what? But I am here to share this story with you. Otherwise, I might not. You never know. That's why it's so important to see the whole picture. So that is basically everything that I planted to tell you on this topic. Now guys, I can see that I have 4 people. Big D and Richard are here. Now if you have any questions or if you want to add something, please do it so. You know, it's important that everything we do here together makes the stream useful for many people after that. Richard, remember, wherever you go, your guest always behave like a good guest. Absolutely, I always preach this to people. Wherever you go, you're just a guy with a motorcycle. You're not God, you're not important person, you're not better than all the people that you can see on the road. It's a very good advice, just behave like a guest, and this will save you a lot of problems, Now on this stream I talked mostly about problems with the motorcycle, technical problems or maybe accidents, but there is also another side of the problems, which is problems with people. And I might do it in some other streams, exactly how to behave for your personal safety. Maybe I will name it something like that, personal safety, even though I've got a few videos on this topic, and I think I even made a stream on this topic, but I might do something similar. So yeah, the most important is just to be logical, to behave like a normal person, and always to see the mistakes in advance. This will help you to have trouble-free trips. I've got, I don't know how many trips, but as you know, I completed all of my trips with almost 0 problems. Pete, nice to see you, Pete. Start off your adventure by seeing your city first, then adventure further in country before you going overseas. I agree with this. The best way to start the trips is slowly, on different steps. First start around your town, then maybe visit a neighborhood towns, then visit the whole country, cross to neighborhood countries. And this is exactly the correct way to start with the trips. You don't need to jump from the beginning to the Olympic distances. So you have to do it slowly, step by step, until you gain some confidence and be ready to make another one step and another one step and another one step. Now, when you watched, let's say, my trip to Russia, you'll say, man, I will never do this. Why? Oh, because it's so far away, so many kilometers. But what is the difference? If you're able to ride 1,000 kilometers, you're able to ride 40,000 kilometers. Yeah, but it's different country. There is no difference when you have done it before, when you gain this confidence, when you gain this experience during the years. It's not a problem at all. And correct way is exactly what Pete suggests. Start slowly around your town, around your neighborhood, your country, your neighborhood countries, neighbors, and so on and so on. Ogi, how do you come across the different clubs you stay with through Russia? A Russian motorcyclist gave me this map. They have a map for all motorcyclists that are crossing Russia. I can find it for you here if I have it. Let me see, do I have it? Yeah, I have it here. This is a website. It is on Cyrillic alphabet, but you can find what you need. And this is a website, and when you visit it, it will open a map of whole Russia, and everywhere got a different points. And if you put the mouse on this point and press it, it will give you a lot of information. Where exactly is this place, telephone numbers, location, and everything. So you can contact this group and ask them, tell them what you do, what are your plans. Usually I was calling day in advance and said, hey, I'm a motorcyclist from Bulgaria. I'm traveling in your area. Can I spend the night in your place? And they always said, yeah, absolutely. When you plan to come, tomorrow, what time, this is the telephone. Call us an hour in advance, and that's it. And it's always someone to meet me there, show me everything, where to go, how to lock, how to unlock, where the food and water and shower, everything is. This is how the system works. Richard, on your point one, I agree completely, and I call this stealth progress. Take only pictures, leave only tracks. Very well said, yes. Be invisible, just be invisible. It doesn't matter how important you believe you are still nothing compared to the whole globe. And you don't need to be the most important person on the world. Be invisible, just go visit the country, do your stuff, and that's it. Fantastic considering what is occurring. Yes, Olgi, yes, it is very useful system, very well made. I hope that one day we're gonna have the same here in Europe, but I really doubt. The mentality of people here is completely different than people in Russia. Here everyone will think that, oh, if I do it, who is going to cover the costs? The guys over there, that they don't think about costs. Everyone give whatever they have, and they ask for nothing in return. This is how their brain works. But it is what it is. Yeah, this altitude will solve a lot of problems, absolutely. Okay, do you have a favorite entry board? Let me to move your letters a little bit because I cannot read it. Do you have a favorite entry border when you come back? If you mean now from Russia or in overall? Now on the way to Russia, I went through Estonian border and went back through Finland border, Finnish border. Estonian border took me like 4 hours to cross into Russia. On the way back, I get out from Russia from Finland, and it took me actually like, I don't know, 30 minutes. It was very, very quick. If this is what you mean, Ogi, please. From and the point to Bulgaria. Well, we have 4 options: Turkey, Romania, North Macedonia, or Serbia. And we have another one, Greece. 5 different options. And my favorite, Turkey is definitely not, because Turkey is not in European Union. You have to wait a little bit more. Serbian border is the same, you have to wait more. Maybe my favorite is Romania border, because usually you don't wait at all. You just go there, crossing the bridge, and you're in Romania. They might check your documents, might also not. So my favorite border, of course, is from and to Romania. Greece, it's very busy, a lot of traffic, so I'll say Romania. I met also 2 Slovakian guys today here in Golden Sands, very close to my place. They were traveling around Europe, stopped here to say hello. We'll spend 2 days in Golden Sands, going into the beach. Nice people, nice guys. One with Tracer 9 GT and one with MT9 Yamahas. We had a nice conversation, 2-3 hours today. But the weather, man, it's very hot now. It's 30 degrees, so it's like it's getting really hot now. And the next week or so will be like that. Alright guys, if you don't have any questions or if you don't want to add anything else, I'm gonna end it here. As usual, thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for being my supporter, channel members, Patreons, to being here on the stream. Good night and see you next week. Ciao.